Hello, my name is Ricky and I'm a data scientist at EdgeNode. And in this quick video, I will be showing you how to create data-driven tools and experiences in the metaverse, leveraging data from the blockchain. So let's jump right in. My goal of this tutorial is that anyone, regardless of their programming experience, should be able to follow along with the steps that I'm outlining. But before actually jumping into the demo part of this video, I wanted to give a quick overview of an example of what you could actually build with these tools. So one use case that we see pretty prominently in the metaverse is people creating their own art galleries to share their work or sell their work. But what we don't see as much of is what I'm about to show you, where you can actually, as a user, search for new artwork that is currently for sale, regardless of who created it. So what I have here is I have this dashboard where a user can input values. And over here, I basically have artwork that isn't currently displaying any images. And what I can do is I can input a parameter within this search field. So I can input 3D, for example. And then I can change the price range of the given NFT and also its edition size. And then when I click this button, it should populate the gallery with artwork that fits my specifications. Now, as a user, I can actually get a lot more value out of visiting this data-driven tool, which I can adapt to my own needs. So I can show things that are only available for sale and select the price range that I want and toggle between different NFT marketplaces. So there's a lot of functional benefit involved in doing something like this. And traditionally, creating a regular dApp and being a full stack developer actually has a way higher barrier for entry than what I'm about to show you. And again, what I'm about to show you, hopefully anybody can do and is straightforward. And we will leverage data from the graph to create a framework that can be applied to all your favorite Ethereum projects and essentially give a framework that is both decentralized and can be applied to a very large variety of projects. So really excited to jump into the actual demo now. So let's get into that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to create a very simple button where the user can click it and it will just show a message every time it's clicked. So another thing I should actually mention is this demo is in Cryptovoxels, but you could do all these same things that I'm showing you in Decentraland, and I'm sure other metaverses as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the build menu using tab. And now I'm going to have a list of options, and I'm just going to click on the button option. And I'm going to just place the button anywhere in the world. Now that we placed our button, you should be able to see a scripting option, and we can click on expand, which will give us a scripting editor. And in here, what I'm going to do, just to keep it really simple, I'm just going to use one of the pre-made shortcut snippets. So I'm going to use this drop down and I'm going to select on click. Now you can see that we have this boilerplate code available, and I can just replace this, which is just a comment. And I can add the simplest kind of code you can have in JavaScript, which is just going to be console.log hello. So basically every time this button is clicked, we're just going to show the text of hello to the user. So this little circle is red, now it's green, means that the script is actively running. Before I actually click on the button, I'm going to go to the developer console of my web browser. So you can do that by going to view, developer, and then developer tools. Command I is usually the toggle for that. You can open this up, and now when I click on this button, it should basically print the text hello every time I click on it. And there we go. It's showing us the text hello every time we click. And now going back to that scripting window, we can actually write any JavaScript that we want in here. So one thing I can do is I can create a new variable, I = 1, and I can increment that variable every time I click the button, and I can show the results of that variable every time I click the button. So I can save this, wait for the little green light, and now I can press it, and we can see that now every time I click it, we see a different number, and it'll just keep going. Bringing things back to our actual task though, what we want to do is we want to create a data-driven experience for the user that's visiting the parcel and give them an experience that's catered to themselves. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go back into the script and we're going to select a new shortcut snippet. So we're going to go to player info on click, and it's going to generate a new code snippet. I'm just going to delete everything we had before. And now when I save this, let's wait for the green. And now when I click it, we're going to see basically this output for player. And within this output, we have all sorts of information, including a wallet address. So we can extract the wallet information of the user visiting, and then we can use that in the queries we will send to the graph and their decentralized endpoints to actually get data from actual dApps and cater that experience to this wallet address. So before we actually jump into the data side of things, let's quickly run through another example using that information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the build menu and I'm going to look for a sign. So this is just going to be a regular text sign. And I'm going to go in here, and for the feature ID, I'm actually going to name this as welcome. And what I can do is I can now go back into our button, go back into scripting, and I'm going to go to the dropdown for shortcut snippets, and there should be one for feature get by ID. So I can extract this ID. I'm going to put this at the top of our script, and I'm going to say welcome. And now we basically created a new variable in our script called element, which contains the content from that text. So if I go console.log and I say element, I can view what that looks like in our console. So let's just wait for the green button here. There we go. And now when I click this, every time I click it, you can see there's also this feature that appears. And within this feature, we can see there's content, and the ID is welcome, and then the text is equals to text. So what we can do is we can actually update the text every time we click on this button. So if I go back into our script, in here, what I can do is I can set the text for that element to something new. So I can go, I'll just delete this. I'm going to say element.set, and I'm going to open some brackets. I'm going to say text is welcome. So now when I click this, we should see the text updating to welcome after I click. So let's see. And there we go. So that worked. But now that we confirm that works, we can take the information that we learned previously around reading in player information, and we can use that to actually adjust the text relative to that as well. So I'm going to go into the text section where we were before. I'm going to say plus e.player.wallet, and hopefully this should print out a welcome, and then next to that show my current wallet address that I'm logged into, so you can see over here. So when I click this, we saw something happen. It showed it super weird. So now that I blew it up, you can see that we have welcome, and then we have my Ethereum wallet address. So what we're going to do next is we're essentially going to take this idea one step further, and we're going to perform some GraphQL queries in real time to a decentralized network called the Graph, where we can access data for basically any smart contract that's on Ethereum, and soon more chains are going to be added to that. So we can essentially take that general framework and apply it to almost any kind of problem. So that's kind of the approach I'll be taking here. So we're essentially just going to read in this wallet address and use that to perform our queries in a way where the user who's visiting will have an experience that's really catered to them and their own wallet address. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm actually going to split it into two parts. The next video will actually implement some GraphQL queries using the graph data. And yeah, I'll keep a very similar approach where you won't actually need to know any real programming or JavaScript. Hopefully this was easy enough to follow in terms of the conceptual steps of what we're doing each step. So I'll take a similar approach in the next video, and I'll give you some boilerplate where you can just kind of add in what you need and where you need it, and hopefully it'll give you a a quick start into building this stuff.